All right, let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a team people are sleeping on for some reason. They won a playoff game last year, won a division title, and they've only gotten better this offseason. And even through the end of training camp, even through roster cutdowns, the Buccaneers are still focused on getting better. And to that end, they just made a massive under-the-radar acquisition. Great sign for Tampa. I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, so one of the under-the-radar teams in the entire National Football League, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which again is weird because they won a playoff game last year, won a division title, and they're clearly on better on paper this year than they were last year. I don't know why they're kind of flying under everyone's attention. They should still be a playoff contender, if not a serious playoff threat in the NFC. But people are sleeping on Tampa Bay. But Tampa Bay Bucs fans, you shouldn't sleep on this latest move by the Buccaneers. It's a great addition. I think a steal at this part of the cycle. Let's pull up this report courtesy of Athlon Sports. The team, the Buccaneers, recently announced that they were claiming offensive guard Royce Newman off of waivers after he was cut by the Green Bay Packers. Bucs GM Jason Licht appeared on a podcast yesterday and gave his thoughts on Newman. I like his playing style. Licht said, he's a high motor guy that fits in with the same kind of guys that we have. He's a scrappy player. Wouldn't be surprised if he'd go out there and hang in there at left tackle as well. He's smart. He's just got that traits that we look for in the O-line, so he's going to fit in great. Newman mostly played right guard for the Packers his first 3 seasons in the league, and he also played left tackles, played out left tackle. That's a nice little grammar error by Athlon Sports. And the report ends, and that could provide a lot of value to a team who needs offensive line help. I think Royce Newman's a guy who kind of gets wrongfully blamed if you listen to people in Packers media. He's a great depth piece who was forced in a lot of terrible situations, very versatile player as well. I think this is a great addition for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, but first, Bucs fans, in the comment section below, as we get closer to the regular season, we know the NFC South is going to be a dogfight. So I'm curious what you guys have to say here. How would you rank the 4 teams in the NFC South? Start from the top to bottom. Bucs 1, Falcons 2, Saints 3, Panthers 4, whatever it may be. Rank how you think the NFC South will shake out. Really curious what you guys have to say, and do it in the comment section below. But Miles, what are your thoughts on this latest Buccaneers edition?
Yeah, Nick, I think this is a pretty smart move, and I love the things that Light says about what's going on for this Bucs offensive line. This is a guy who can provide a lot of value. I think having somebody that's as versatile, as flexible as this guy who can play tackle, he can play guard, I think is a really interesting option to have on team, because I think right now there's only 3 really solid yeses on this offensive line. You look at the center and Barton, he's there for sure. Gadecki for the long, and I'm talking about for the long term here. Gadecki, right tackle, he's looking pretty good. And Tristan Wirfs, left tackle, looking pretty good. Bredesen, he's a new guy. He's done okay throughout his career. But, is he the future at guard? Who knows? As well as Mock. Mock, first season was an up and down season. I think he had some flashes as well. But is this guy going to be the future here as well? Who knows? So you bring in a veteran guy, someone that can provide some depth, some value. But also, if he needs to come in, if someone's having a down year again, and really help this team that is, like you said, underrated. This is a playoff winning team. This is a team that has pretty big aspirations this season. This could be a guy that come in and provide some valuable depth, some valuable relief, maybe just help this offensive line gel a little bit more. So in that aspect, I think it's really good. But also, this is a guy somewhat on the upswing in his own right. If you look at Royce Newman's preseason grades, he did pretty dang good in the pass blocking department, in 84.7 overall. And sometimes PFF grades can be skewed. If you have one really good game, it'll bring everything else up. This guy was consistent throughout all 3 games, 86.3, 72.0, 86.4. Very good throughout all 3 games in the pass blocking department. And it's not just a limited number of snaps either. He played 146 snaps in this preseason. So a guy doing some pretty good stuff. I think a very valuable addition for the Bucs. I think this shows, once again, really smart move by them.
Well, because they give him nothing, right? I mean, they brought in a guy off the waiver wire, which essentially is the freest move you can possibly get. Like normally, you have to trade, like use a 6th, 7th round pick, or you have to sign someone in free agency to get a quality depth piece. Here, they just They gave up nothing. They just got a guy off waivers, which is a really smart move by Licht and company, who have kind of gone under the radar for making a lot of great decisions over the past couple of years. But when you break down specifically Newman and the value he adds, well, you compare him against some of the other interior offensive linemen, he's just as good, if not better. If you look at Cody Mock's rookie year, his overall PFF grade, pass blocking 52, run blocking 39. That's obviously not very good. You look at Newman, pass blocking 52, run blocking 44. So you can make an argument that Newman today is an upgrade over one of your starters in Cody Mock. How about Bredesen, a guy who's off to a really strong start for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers so far? Last year for the Giants, kind of a disgusting comparison because the Giants were so bad, but overall he graded out in the 40s. If you go back to the prior year to the Giants, I think is a fair comp. He graded out as a 57 overall, 61 run blocking, 53 pass blocking. Then you look at Newman and compare him, let's say, to his career. He's had years 57, this is 2022, 57 overall, 58 run blocking, 55 pass blocking in 2021, 56 overall, 52 run blocking, 60 pass blocking. So you can make an argument he's just as good as Bredesen, right? We know he's just as good as Mock. I highlighted that. But now you factor in Bredesen, the veteran, as well. So you bring in a guy who not only is versatile, who's a great team guy, who ran and executed that LaFleur offense with a young quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, which, again, there's going to be a lot of variability. There's going to be a lot of concerns, takes a lot of mental acuity to figure that out as you go through that transition, which obviously Newman handled at a high level. Now you bring that into a roster with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers where he's expected to be a depth piece, or he's already just as good, if not better, than a couple of the starters. That's a win move that, again, costs you absolutely nothing. So you're going here, if you're a Tampa Bay, if you're the offense going into this regular season, you're like, okay, Barton's our guy. We know that. We know our tackles are good. Question mark's going to be the issue here at the guard position. What do we do there? We don't know if Mock's going to get better. We think Bredesen's a good leader. How does that all go out? If you have one injury, how bad do we get at guard? Well, adding Newman, you say, listen, worst case scenario, we cannot physically get worse at guard. He can play both sides. He can even shift to left tackle, God forbid, if an injury happens at that position. Again, it's these under the radar moves like this time of year, adding veteran pieces that are versatile, that are good leaders, that have worked through challenging situations in the past, that understand complex schemes. Newman's, by all reports, a very intelligent player at the offensive line position. You have to be in order to be as versatile as he's been. These are the kind of moves, these are the kind of additions that when injuries inevitably occur over the course of the season, it mitigates that risk, it mitigates that concern. Really smart roster management here by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And it's why, like we've seen, they kind of come out of nowhere and surprise a lot of people. They should be one of the favorites once again to win the NFC South.